I thought we would do this little video. It's like a recap video of 2019. And, when we first started the keto diet, which was many, many moons ago, we started at a much higher weight than we are now. But 2019 was the first year where we actually stuck to keto 95% of the year. We only had a couple of times where we cheated. So in January, I started off this year at 230 pounds. What about you?
I was just about 10 pounds under you at the time at 220 pounds. So we were pretty close in weight, actually, when we both started at the beginning of the year.
So why do you think this time was different? Why do you think that we were able to stick onto keto this year so diligently?
A factor that was different from other years was my motivation to lose weight because of my upcoming wedding. So in January, I decided I really want to feel great on my wedding day, and that this was going to be the year that I lost the majority of my weight.
I think that was what happened with me too. Once you got very strict, I think I joined in a couple weeks later. It took me a little bit longer to jump on the bandwagon this time, and when I started to see her actually drop pounds again, I was like, okay, if I do not quickly get back on keto, it's going to be obvious how much bigger I am than her for her wedding. And there's just so many pictures,
Yeah.
and you're spending all this money on photography and dresses, so I needed to catch up to her.
So another motivating factor for me was taking pictures and how I looked in the pictures. When my boyfriend proposed at the time, I felt really big in the video. I was probably about 240 pounds at that point.
And you have a video, right?
Yeah, I have a video that I could show right now. And it was a beautiful moment, but during that video, we have made a story about it. If
you remember what you wanted to go in your PJs to that event?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I told her, I know you have to dress up because I knew that she was getting engaged that night. Can you imagine if she was wearing flannel pants or something?
I just felt horrible, you know what I mean? And I didn't know I was getting engaged to you. You could have told me that, by the way.
Well, no, I couldn't have because he told me it was a secret.
Anyway, I just felt horrible, and, with my upcoming engagement shoot, I just wanted to lose as much weight as possible. I took an engagement shoot in 2018 in September, and I thought I looked, a lot better. But I just wanted to lose more weight in time for the wedding. So those were my motivating factors. So I was really motivated, and I got pretty far down for my wedding. I was 180, and I went to go get my dress altered, and the seamstress was like, okay, you kind of have to stop losing weight now because the dress is not going to fit. I'm going to have to tailor it. And I did not want to pay any more money to tailor this dress. So in July, I pretty much went into maintenance mode for a little bit so that I could fit into my dress for my wedding. How about you?
Well, my main motivation was always to be thin. But this time it kind of felt like I was just going to be standing up there at the wedding and everyone was going to compare us because everybody does compare us because we're twins. We just had an experience a couple weeks ago getting our hair cut where people were literally coming up to our face and going, oh, your nose is a little bit different than your nose.
Yeah. I don't think that people mean anything.
I know.
By
it's mostly innocent, but at the same time, people, they want to compare us naturally. So what I didn't want was to be standing up there as your bridesmaid and then not be similar to you. So that was my main motivation. We tend to go off the deep end together, and we also tend to motivate each other to stay on. Like, if she is cheating, I have a hard time staying on most of the time. So, I think that a support system is really important. But luckily this year, since Sarah was so motivated because she had the wedding, she really kept me on track, and I was able to, now I've caught up, I've surpassed you in weight loss.
You keep on mentioning that. Yes, you weigh less than me.
A lot of hard work and dedication here, people. But I've always been like the bigger one typically, and so I'm just happy to weigh less than you now.
Congratulations.
I'm not even trying to sound like like egotistical or anything. It's just really exciting for me to now be 177 pounds.
I'm excited for you too.
So while we did stay on the keto diet 95% of the time this year, were there any mistakes that you make or regrets that you had for 2019?
One mistake that I made repeatedly was when I felt like I wanted to indulge or cheat, I didn't just cheat for one day. I cheated for a weekend or for an entire week sometimes. I was on the diet for 95% of the time, but when I cheated, it was for subsequent days.
Right.
And if I could go back in time, I probably would have gotten one meal and put it in my system and then gotten over it and then moved on, because the days that I cheated, I felt like crap, and I gained a lot of weight that I then had to work off. So, my tip for those that are starting is to stay the course. Don't cheat if you can help it. And you're going to see progress, and that progress is going to keep you motivated to keep going. Next year, I plan on not doing that at all. One cheat meal, and that's it. Back on ketoing on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Emily, what was a mistake that you made this year?
I call it carb creep. That's when I'm, using like 5 low-carb tortillas in a day, that kind of stuff. I mean, now they're saying that those low-carb tortillas are 4 net carbs, not 6 net carbs, but still. It's like when I put those things into my diet, I tend to kind of stall out on my weight loss. I would like to eat more clean for 2020, so that I would count that as my biggest mistake this year. Do you know what I kind of regret?
What?
Stopping Keto Twins a couple years ago. We were doing Keto Twins to keep us accountable. We've actually always loved making movies and videos ever since we were young. We've done really hilarious ones that we will probably never show you, maybe someday. Like recreating Titanic, that kind of thing when we were 12. But we always loved like editing things, and so when we started Keto Twins, it was more about like just keeping us accountable. We didn't know if anybody was going to follow us, and honestly, I remember a lot of times being like, and you can be our 10th subscriber. And now we're almost at 400 subscribers, which is really exciting. But somewhere along the way, we went to Door County, Wisconsin on a vacation, and we went off the deep end during that. And I remember thinking, this is bad. Like, I remember we went there, but we were intending to stay on there and just do a vlog of our trip and what we were going to eat. But then we got there and we just started eating whatever. And then guess what? A week went by, 2 weeks went by, and we just stopped recording and we stopped keto. So that was why we stopped, Keto Twins the first time. So I really wish that we would have kept on going on Keto Twins. I think that, it kept us accountable and it made us motivated. And the couple of people who actually reached out to us after we quit, it kind of brought us back, to be quite honest. And so we are happy that people commented and cared enough to ask how we were doing. So thank you for that. So what are your goals for 2020?
Personally, I would like to get a little bit more active. Not really for weight loss, but, I feel like my age is starting to show on me, and I just need to be a little bit more physically active in order to feel alive, really. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, I just want maybe like some yoga, throw some yoga in there or something, stretching of some sort, just get a little bit more physically active. Namaste in bed. No. Because, my husband works out and, her husband's a marathon runner. So, just being a little bit more physically active seems to be like the next part in this journey, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I keep on scrolling on my Facebook and I keep on seeing this ad for this machine called, it's an exercise machine called the DB method. I don't know if any of you have seen it out there. It's like pretty much a beautiful woman squatting on this machine repeatedly. We'll probably add it in here so you can see. And I've been looking at this thing. I don't know, Facebook's obviously targeting me for this ad every day, all day long for the past couple months. So maybe I want to buy this thing. I mean, maybe it's subliminally working on me. So have I ever exercised before? No. Have I ever stayed on any kind of exercise regimen? No. I actually bought a thing that electrocutes you. The ab belt,
yeah.
What was funny about that though is the ab belt actually, it had like aluminum foil on the bottom of it and was like cracking, and so it was actually electrocuting me, and I thought that it would contract my muscles or something. Do you remember?
I think it did work.
But the amount of effort that it takes to not do any exercise, that's like my forte. So I would like to, in 2020, do something like that so that I can be stronger, because my husband is an ultra marathoner, not just a normal one now. Now he's training for to run 50 miles or whatever, and I can't even run 50 feet. So, we don't want to be so inactive anymore. We don't want to feel tired when we're walking around. So maybe this will be the year where we start, exercising a little bit. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I mean, I never thought that I would be able to stick on keto for almost an entire year straight. The dogs are crying. Okay, anyway. So what else do you want to do in 2020? Anything?
I want a whole new wardrobe. I've been wearing the same clothes for 5 years. I've gone, how many sizes? From a size 18, almost 20, I don't even know, down to a size, right now I'm a size 10, 12. Yeah, when I reach my goal weight, I'd love to just find a new wardrobe. And maybe even wearing like a bathing suit in public. That would be something
Oh
that
my
I've never
God.
done before, that we've never done before.
I haven't worn a bathing suit since I was like 12 years old. And honestly, I don't even wear like capris or shorts. No, I don't care if it's 110 degrees out. I never wear shorts. I never wear like a shorter skirt. So maybe, you know, in a couple pounds, I'll feel comfortable enough to try some of those things, but we'll see. And of course, I think that we can both say that we would like to lose more weight. Our goal is 150 pounds, which is, you know, in the middle, I would say, of a normal range for someone who is as tall as we are. We're pretty tall. You're almost 5'10".
I'm like 5'10", 5'9" and a half, and you're
I'm 5'11",
yeah.
so that's pretty, I wouldn't say that's too skinny. I think it's perfectly reasonable to get to 150 pounds. So for me, that's like what, 28, 28 pounds from now.
I'm 185 right now, so it's about 35 pounds away. And our future goal for 2020 is to keeping on with the Keto Twins and creating content. We also created a Facebook group that, you know, we hope that you guys will join. We're going to link it down below. Emily, what's the name of it? She made it.
Keto Chat, Support, and Motivation.
Hosted by the Keto Twins.
We actually want newbies and people who don't know much about keto to join so that we can talk you through it. So please, don't fear that there's no one in there except for me and Sarah. Come on in. The water's warm. We don't bite. We'd love to have you.
I was just saying that, you know, some of the bigger, you know, keto groups are kind of intimidating.
Oh, I agree.
Especially if you're new. Like, I don't know how to, you know, do keto. Where do I start? A lot of groups will be like, read the forum post, or, you know what I mean? But no, if you want our help, if you have specific questions, we're happy to help you. And it's a small group, so you can be a founding member.
There's literally no one in there except for us right now.
So we're hoping that we'll become a support group for everybody. So feel free to join. We'll leave the link below.
Oh, hi there. So maybe you're considering keto, but you haven't started yet. In 12 months from now, who knows where you could be if you just decide to stick to it, which is what this video is about in our year recap. I like to call this diet 1,000 decisions because every day for a year, you're going to be making 3 decisions every day on what you have to eat if you're going to stay on or not. Those little 1,000 decisions, every time you make one, you put one step forward, you make progress. And after a while, you stop listening to what everybody else has to say about keto. And after a couple of weeks, your overall well-being, you're just going to feel so much better. It's not even going to be completely about the weight loss. When I started keto, I felt better almost immediately. I sleep better. My anxiety issues are almost gone. And even my skin has cleared up because I used to suffer from really bad eczema, and now it's pretty much gone. So it's not only about the weight loss. Being keto, it's pretty much just eating clean. And when you do that, you feel 1,000 times better. So I implore you to please try to start keto today. Make that first decision.
So the new year is a great time to start your diet. I don't really care if it's cliche. There are gym memberships on sale. Diet food is on sale, and everybody's in their new me, new you mantras, blah, blah, blah. But use that as motivation. I think it's the perfect time to start. Pretty much any time is a great time to start. You just have to take that first step forward. So I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily.
And we are the Keto Twins. Happy New Year.